Mr. Ambassador, thank you for accepting us here. Thank you for this interview. Do you feel there is a room for developing close relationships between the two nations?
As you know, we have relations since 1958. We set up our embassies in around 1974 to 1976. In politics, we have very strong shared views on the international issues, in the regional concept issues, and we have set up the friendship of parliament, both sides. So in the coming weeks, we receive big delegation parliament from Indonesia to meet with their counterpart here. Now, Indonesian government trying to develop these maritime sectors. So this point, and also tourism and archaeological side, which both have a strong point, these have very big rooms for us to develop in the future. We like people to know Indonesia, and also Indonesian people to know more Greek. Indonesia, all elementary school, they know about Greece. Mm-hmm. They know about all the 10 gods, the famous god of Greece. We believe all the 10 famous gods from Greece, they're traveling to Bali to have their vacation.
Indonesia is one of the largest democracies.
Yes.
What would it be your advice in the race to fighting corruption, and especially about the structural reforms that we need to make?
I believe corruption is not only this particular Greece or Indonesia. In the last 20 years ago, we set up a special institution. They call it the corruption eradication institutions to fight the corruptions in the modern era. And then this also works with the special court for anti-corruptions, and also for with the police, special setup for the corruption. So these institutions works with the society and also for non-government organizations.
Has that been effective until now?
Yes, of course. It's not only for the government level, but it's also for the society and for the public procurement. So all people involved in this, these anti-corruptions, not in the interest of the government.
Which ones do you think would be the most important sectors between Greece and Indonesia that can really be developed by cooperating with each other?
We have common traits. Mostly we are archipelago state, and we have tourism destinations. Mm-hmm. So I believe both sectors we can develop for the benefit of both sides. We are a growing market. We are very big. Young market is about 250 million people. The 10% is only 25. So I think this field of tourism getting more interesting to develop by both countries. And also maritime. Our government now to expand these maritime sectors. We like to interconnecting our island. Already been developed like in Greece. So these sectors we can work together. Not only that, the port management.
Has the Greek crisis really affected the Indonesian economy, and if so, in what sectors?
Any crisis in the country will affect, in this global era, affect to the regional, to the global. Indonesia with Greece, we have only around trade figures is 250 million. With Spain, we have 1 billion US dollars.
In what kind of sectors does it apply? Does it come from tourism? Does it come from ship building?
No, this is only trade. So we export and import. There's two commodities. Yes, two commodities.
Okay.
We import a lot of raw materials, tobacco, cotton from Greece. And we also export machineries. Mm-hmm. We are still low, but there's room for growing up.
Big part of the population are actually believers of Islam. Based on the experience that the Indonesians had from the past, from the 15th century, fighting the jihadists, what exactly would you actually say that it should be done in fighting this kind of jihadism or radicalism when it comes to the Syrian refugee crisis?
I need to underline that Muslim is not jihad. Indonesia, we have 250 million population. Around 90% are Muslims. So, and we have ethnic groups, around 300 ethnic groups. and we have different languages in each groups. We have religious differences, and we are also cultural differences, I should say. So we used to live in the harmony, in the differences, I should say. In the Indonesian government, we have regulation and rules to overcome the radicalisms. They have to oblige these rules. If they against this our regulation, we will bring it to the court. This radicalisms is not related to the religious. This is more in economic, more in politics. We have a system for that. So we doesn't regard this is come from Muslim or Christianity or whatever. So who's against this regulation? So we put it in the court to rehabilitate if this related to the religious aspect. We use ulama, the head of the religious doctrine.
How do you fight radicalism when it comes to someone who takes the guns, the arms, and starts shooting or starts bombing innocent people?
The ISIS in particular, we are a big Muslim, but we are a very small number of people who are joining the ISIS. And this is because it's the system that if they against the philosophy of the country and the criminal, we put it on the proper way.
What exactly do you have in plan when it comes to cultural exchange programs or even like scholarships or intercultural relations?
We grant scholarship in three kinds in temporary right now. We call it Dharma Siswa, scholarship for the people who like to learn language and cultures. This is 1 year program. And since this program started in 2000 till now, there are 40 Greek people take advantage in this scholarship. Second is the short-term scholarship for those who like to learn more in music and dance. And this goes to university to university. So we ask them to stay in Indonesia for 3 months to deal with the dance group or art group to learn in this very short. The other is the master degree program in various fields, so they can learn not only in the cultures but only in the technical, on the industry, anything. And Indonesian Embassy, we also open classes for those who like to learn Indonesia language and also like to learn cooking class. So we open this class to open for Athenians who like to join, and we open this program in the weekends.
Well, especially the last one sounds very, very interesting and very tasty as well.
Thank you.
Is Indonesia becoming investment friendly?
This is growing economic Indonesia. As you know, we are a member of G20. We are among the third highest growth in the G20 members after India and China. This recent government set up 3 economic stimulus package. So they open for tax more easier to set up business in Indonesia within 30 days. And then they can have tax exemption. And then we also issue the visa, for example. Last October, we issued 27 countries, include Greek citizens. So this kind of activity, we hope others economic countries can also join and take benefit in our growing market.
Finally, I would just like to ask you about the freelance professionals who work and maybe live in Indonesia.
Yes.
What exactly are the relationships between them and the Indonesian state?
Well, we have long relations. We have many people from Greece traveling and got our independence, means in 1945. They have a very good people, success people. So our first chocolate factory is built by Greek people.
Really?
Yes, in 1930. So we don't have government at the time. We colonized by the European countries. So this bring Indonesian very appreciate to the Greek people. They easily to know this is not a Western part, Western nation, but this is a Greek people. So we are hoping that more people of Greek can come to Indonesia, and also, of course, Indonesian people, many traveling to Greek to know each others. And I believe this is the strong point in the coming years.
You also have some very important and very interesting archaeological sites as well.
Yes, yes. Greece have very knowledge of sports and the archaeological site. So we like to have closely. We would like to train our sportsmen to Greece in the field of Olympia. We have agreement in the education and sports. So this is to implement this agreement.